Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. While you're at it, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and also leave a comment. On today's topic, I asked the question, is Chris Gilbert the Emmett Till of 2024? Let's compare the two cases. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old who went to visit family in Drew, Mississippi, and was brutally murdered, hung, just beaten by racist white men after an adult white female claimed he made a pass at her. And that adult female's name was Carolyn Bryant Dunham. She later recanted or said that she lied. She died at the age of 88 in 2023. Now, where is the comparison? So now we have 2024, where Chris Gilbert, an aspiring medical doctor, was hanging out with his friends, and allegedly it's known that he's not a swimmer, but he was pushed into the lake, which later they said that initially they said that he had just fallen into the lake, and then they admitted the truth that he was pushed into the lake. Now, different from back then, no one's name has been released of all these friends. So let's look at the disclaimer, and then I'm going to get right back into the story. Now, it is said that Chris was in the water for about 15 or 20 minutes, and no one of the friend group had jumped in, but they said someone did jump in for a moment, but they were not the ones to pull him out. It's alleged that someone from the restaurant came in and actually jumped in there and pulled him out and performed the CPR. If these friends were really friends of his, you would think that they would have jumped in and tried to save him. I'm not sure how true it is, but it is also alleged that someone within that friend group was urinating in the water while this young man drowned. And just remember, this young man had his life going on. He was getting ready to be a medical doctor, as well as the mother said that the female friend had called her and said he had fallen in, and then the police were the ones to tell her that he had been pushed. But at no time did anyone tell his mother the truth. And that's all she's doing, is searching for answers. And this just presents itself as another tragic story of a young man who was actually doing the right thing, and then he hung around the wrong people. You just have to be careful who you hang around, because everyone is not for you. Now, here this young man, even though he is off of that zone where he was unconscious, he still has a long recovery to go. But just think, now his chances of becoming a doctor are very grim and slim. The mother has attorneys right now, and she's looking for answers. Let's pray that she gets the answers that she needs, and there is some kind of justice in this situation. And we know, probably had it been another situation with someone else, that we wouldn't even be here right now. But let's pray this mom get answered, and also pray for a full recovery.
One of his friends, and KSLA's Jasmine Franklin has been following this story from the very beginning, and she joins us now with newly released information from police on the case. Jasmine?
In our continuing coverage, we are learning new details regarding the near-drowning incident involving 26-year-old Christopher Gilbert. Chris was hanging out with friends at a lakefront restaurant when one of his friends allegedly pushed him into the water. Monday afternoon, the Union Parish Sheriff's Office released new information regarding the moments before and after Chris was pulled from the water. KSLA exclusively obtained the call sheet report from the Union Parish Sheriff's Office regarding the near-drowning incident. According to the report, on April 14th, around 7:30 p.m., sheriffs responded to the Reds, Tails, and Shells restaurant in Farmerville regarding a possible drowning. When officers arrived, they discovered the victim, Christopher Gilbert, being lifted out of the water by a bystander named Dawson Faust. Chris was submerged about 15 feet deep underwater during the time he was pulled out of the lake. According to the sheriff's office report, Chris was underwater for several minutes, and when he was taken out, he was not breathing, but his eyes were open. Then a sheriff and a bystander began to administer CPR on Chris.
It's taking a toll on all of us. Like, Chris is a beam of light for all of us, so It's just been devastating.
The Union Parish Sheriff's Office report continues by saying Sheriff Ashley Rhodes, who was on scene, asked people from Chris's friend group what happened. The group responded saying Chris, quote, just kind of fell face first into the water.
We've been asked by Mr. Gilbert and his family to come and investigate what exactly happened.
Over the weekend, attorneys Lee Merritt and Claudia Payne visited the lakefront restaurant where the incident happened.
That's the crazy part. We can just walk out here. There's nothing to stop us. There's no monitoring. I wish they did have somebody like...
After originally reporting to sheriffs Chris fell into the water on his own, his group of friends allegedly changed the story and told authorities one of his female friends pushed him into the water. The sheriff's office report describes the situation as horseplay and says the friend did not know Chris could not swim.
So it becomes a race thing because look at what's at play. It's one black kid and a group of white kids that's his friends, and one of them pushed him into the water. But nothing is happening as far as justice in Chris' situation.
Christopher was on life support for more than 2 weeks and experienced significant brain damage. Although he survived and is now off life support, his family is still searching for justice and answers.
Justice is accountability for who did this to my child, who's ever responsible for my child. And I mean, everybody that's responsible, I want accountability.
Tonight, Christopher is still in the hospital, and Farmerville police say they are actively investigating the incident. As of tonight, no arrests have been made. It is still unclear if police plan to make any arrests or file any charges. Several viewers have reached out to our newsroom asking why we have not reported the names of the friends who were involved. Investigators have not released any of that information. Reporting in studio, I'm Jasmine Franklin.
Now let's compare these two cases. So here we have 26-year-old Christopher Gilbert. He was aspiring to be a medical doctor. And then we had 14-year-old Emmett Till in 1955. He was just a 14-year-old kid who aspired to live. And then in 1955, Carolyn Bryant Donhan lies led to a mob brutally assaulting and killing a 14-year-old child, Emmett Till. Today in 2024, it's still undisclosed the white female that lied about pushing Chris Gilbert into the lake and he drowned. Emmett Till's brutally abused body was found in a river. And then we have Christopher Gilbert. So his body was pulled from the lake by someone other than his friends. And the other person tried to do CPR, was given actually by the cops and someone other than his friends. Did they achieve the goal of stopping his dreams to be a medical doctor? See the new update.
On with our news tonight. Well, it's been described by many as a miracle. We gave you the first alert on 26-year-old Chris Gilbert, who was allegedly pushed into a lake by one of his friends. According to family, Chris was submerged underwater for more than 10 minutes. Thankfully, he survived. And after spending more than 2 weeks on life support, Chris's mother says tonight he is officially off life support. This is truly amazing. Take a look at your screen right now. This is a recent photo of Chris sent to us from his mother, Yolanda. As you can see, he looks to be in much better shape. Tonight, he is still in the hospital, but families say he is doing much better. The incident happened a little more than 2 weeks ago in Farmerville, Louisiana. Chris was hanging out with friends at a lakefront restaurant when one of his friends allegedly pushed him into the water. This left Chris with major brain damage, and he was on life support, but according to family, his health is improving. And although it has been significant improvement in his health, his family is still searching for justice and answers.
In the days of recovery, with him progressing, it's still a struggle, it's still a battle, because we don't know day for day what to expect. And I just want his quality of life to be restored. I don't want my son to have to suffer from something that was not his fault totally.
It's one black kid and a group of white kids that's his friends, and one of them pushed him into the water. But nothing is happening as far as justice in Chris' situation.
Well, right now, there's no exact timeline on when Chris will be released from the hospital, but his family says it could be very soon. Community activists say they plan to continue fighting until Chris receives justice, including taking a trip to Union Parish to speak with law enforcement in the coming weeks. You can find updates on this story on